Hi, hi everyone. It's Stacy here. Time for a little yoga, a little movement, a little breath, a little time to wake up our bodies. So as we come to this mountain pose, feet firmly planted, our shoulders rolled back, and maybe we close the eyes for just a few moments to arrive, checking in with what our day has been like. Maybe the day's just beginning, knowing that we can get through anything. We have our breath, we have the present moment. Perhaps we think of an affirmation, an I am statement. I am strong. I am resilient. I am ready for what life brings me today. So as you soften the eyes, close the eyes, whatever feels best, just connecting with the breath, connecting with the self, and enjoying just a few moments of stillness. Now as we begin to wake up our bodies a bit more, let's roll the shoulders back. Roll the shoulders forward. And adding in some breath of joy. Breath of joy goes like this. It's 3 small inhales and then an exhale. Bring the arms up for inhale, 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 and an explosive exhale. And let's give it all we have today, really letting go of what doesn't serve us. So please join me in our breath of joy, breathing in. 3 small inhales. Exhale. You got it. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Release. Breath, breath, breath. Release. Let's do 2 more times. We'll bring ourselves up to that strong posture. A little yogi stair stepper as we start to lift the heels and roll onto the balls of the feet. Hands might even come to the waist. And that forward and kind of back motion of the knees. Bring the blood flow into the calves. Let's do a few more. Always honoring our body if something doesn't feel right or the intensity is too much. Choosing to back off. Lowering our intensity and choosing what is best for you. Every day might feel different, but we listen to the body and what it's telling us. As we press both heels down, let's circle the hips. A little micro bend in those knees. Might even widen the stance to allow for more stable ground. And then once we feel our circles are enough, we come back to that stable, strong, straight body and we open the hands. Bring our feet underneath of the hips, sweeping the arms overhead, breathing in. As we soften the knees and hinge from the hips, exhale, just sweep the knees on your exhale. Press through the feet, hands come back up. Exhale, sweeping a little lower, maybe the shins. Pressing through the feet, inhaling up, exhaling as we sweep and fold. So moving through your own forward fold flow. Sweeping wherever you like. Your own pace. Let's do about 3 more. We'll meet back in that forward fold. And remember, the key to touching the ground in yoga is bending your knees, maybe generously bending the knees. As we release the head, looking behind us, shaking it yes and no, checking on tension in the neck. And then when you're ready, pressing into the hands and stepping the feet back into an all fours posture. Shoulders over wrist, hips over knees, and extending that right leg out into our gate pose. Perhaps we move forward and back, pressing into that shin of that left leg, feeling through the hips. Taking care of wrist if we need fist for wrist, an opportunity, just taking care. And then when you're ready, pressing into that left hand, let's lift the right arm all the way up. Open the hand wide, lengthening fingertip to fingertip. And on our next exhale, as we take the right hand and we thread it behind the left, softening that left elbow, and then lifting the hand back up on our inhale, exhaling as we twist from the belly button up through our thread the needle flow. Let's do 2 more. We'll meet back with that hand extended up. One more round of breath. A round of breath being an inhale and an exhale. And then we'll place that right hand down, slide the right foot in. And let's sink hips back to heels into our child's pose, caring for knees. And always have the opportunity to take big toes together, knees wide if that feels better. And as we lower down, if you can't quite get there, you can always stack the hands, elongate the head, place the head on the hands, and take some breaths. Sinking into this brief child's pose. And as we shift our weight back up to our all fours, we can bring the knees back under the hips if they've widened. And we'll take that left leg out. I'm just going to turn around so you can all see. So that left leg extending out. Perhaps rocking forward and back a bit into feeling into the hips, the inner thigh. And as we're ready, that right hand pressing down, that left hand reaching up long, extending fingers, finding some length. Now threading that left hand behind that right, softening that right elbow as we flow in and out. The body flowing in and out of this thread the needle. Any tenderness, any pain, dialing it back a bit if we need to. Let's do 2 more. And we'll reach that left hand up long. Perhaps we gaze up if the neck feels okay. And then we bring both hands back to the mat. That left foot back in. And if wrists are sore, we might take a moment to just circle them side to side. And then as we press those hands into the mat, wide starfish hands, extending both feet back into our downward facing dog. Once you arrive, walking feet closer or further, whichever you need, starting to press down the heels, one by one. And let's press into the feet and start to walk the hands backward toward our feet into our forward fold. Walk them up the body. Take your time. Enjoy the journey. Sweep the arms. Inhale overhead, lengthening the spine, and then soften the knees and fold. Even walk them down the body, walking them back out to that downward facing dog. A breath or two as we pedal through our down dog. And then walking hands back toward the feet as we sink into the back body. Walk the hands up, inhale, and exhale and find that forward fold. Always the option to come to all fours if down dog is becoming too much on the wrist or just the body in general. And one more time, walking hands back toward the back body, walking hands all the way up. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. And let's find those palms at the heart center and sink back into our chair pose. Heart is lifted into our chair. And pressing through the feet, sweeping arms overhead. Palms touch and we find that standing heart center. So release hands down. Open palms, roll the shoulders back, remembering that affirmation, I am strong, I am determined, whatever you have chosen. And if you can't think of one, that's okay. And then we're just going to step wide onto our mats. Heels in, toes out. As we start to bend into the knees and we maybe sway side to side. Looking down, can we see the big toe? If we can't, we might need to bring the heels in a little further. And let's straighten those legs. Arms extend all the way up into our 5-pointed star. Now, as we draw the elbows in and we bend into the knees, all the air escaping. Inhale as we press through the feet. Thumbs toward one another. Exhale as we lower into our moonflower flow. We can stay right here. If we choose sunflowers, we can hinge forward, pick up the sunflowers, toss them in the air, whatever beautiful flowers you would like to do today. This is called sunflower pose, but you do whatever you like. Let's do about 3 more. Sunflowers, moonflowers, whatever you've chosen. And we'll meet back in that 5-pointed star. Hands reaching long. Shift through the hips. And let's turn feet, knees, toes, everything toward the front. All facing the long edge of the mat. And we're going to bend into that left leg. We're going to drag the right leg over onto that standing leg. Lifting into a balancing posture. Our balancing star. And as we mindfully place that foot back down, palms come together. Be a little seated Wide leg squat as we open back into our 5-pointed star. We drag that left leg over, that standing leg supporting us. Placing both feet down, palms coming together. Let's find those hips. Let's step to the top of our mats for a little tree pose. So as we widen the toes, pressing into the ball and the heel of the foot, those four corners of the feet, whatever leg you choose, so I'm using my left, stepping into that leg. Let's do our Garuda Mudra. One hand on the heart, the other overlaying, thumbs together. And we're going to open out into our tree. Our tree might be here. Our tree might be a little taller, but it doesn't matter. It's your tree. As you soften the eyes and just breathe. One more round of breath. Now leaving the legs, release the hands, and then rotate that hip around so that the right foot steps in front of the left, or whatever that non-standing leg is in front. Squeeze the lower body, squeeze the inner thighs, the buns, heel to toe, and let's open our arms wide, relax through the shoulders. Gently gazing. And we'll roll our wrists down and bring the legs back underneath of the hips. Let's circle the hips before we go on to the other side. And we'll come back to stillness and switching our legs. So I'm standing on my right. If you did the opposite, that's okay. Press into that standing leg, lifting the crown of the head. Let's find our Garuda Mudra, which means freedom. One hand over the other, our thumbs interlacing, opening that opposite leg, either kickstanding, bring it a bit further up if that works, softening your gaze and finding your breath. One more round of breath. Leaving the leg, let's release the hand. Rotate that lifted leg into the front, step in front of that standing leg, so toes to heels. Squeeze the inner thighs, squeeze the buns. Let's elevate the arms, soften the shoulders, just be present. One more round of breath. And we'll uncross the legs. Widen the feet a little bit wider than hip width apart, circling the hips. And then let's make our way to the ground. Sitting on our buns, our bums. And we're going to take that left leg out at an angle, and bring the right foot in. Take an opportunity, maybe pressing through the hands to settle the sits bones, find those bony prominences. And as we draw the right shoulder back, this left hand descending down, let's bring the hand, that right hand to the hip, look up over that right shoulder. Little revolve twist. Let's bring ourselves back up through center. Now as we elongate, so pressing through the hips, lifting up through the crown, on our exhale, we're going to turn toward that outstretched leg. Hinging forward, softening as much as our body will allow. And we'll walk ourselves back up. Go ahead and bring both feet, excuse me, I have to move my kitty, to the mat. Hands just behind us, press up out of the pose. Shoulders and ears have some distance as we sway the knees side to side. You guys go right ahead. I'm going to pet my kitty. This is Pip, by the way. And then when we're ready, walking ourselves back up tall, let's tuck that left leg in and that right leg all the way out. Squaring our hips, shifting our weight. As we draw that left shoulder back, that right hand traveling down the leg, that left hand to the hip as we look up over that left shoulder. We'll rotate ourselves back to center. And as we inhale, lifting from the upper body, on our exhale, twisting from the belly button up to the right, collapsing over that outstretched leg. One more round of breath. We'll walk ourselves up tall. And let's bring that other leg in. If you'd like to take some final relaxation, please take the time to do so. I thank you guys for joining me for this short practice. I hope it offered you a little bit of movement, a little bit of connection with your breath, a little bit of peace. As we bring our hands to our heart center, may you be happy. May you be well. May you be safe. And may you find peace and ease. Namaste.